Okay, we're back here on the CSEC Mathematics January 2024. We're at question 4. So this is where we left off last time. We did part A. Alright. So let's look at part B now. We need some space to work out part B. Let's erase some of the work we did before. I wrote the answers here for these. F of 4 is negative 18, f of h of 0 is 1, and f h of negative 2 is 9/5. But part B now, what about f inverse of x? So we have inverse function here. So here we have f of x. Let's just write it. F of x is 2 minus 5x. F of x is equal to 2 minus 5x. Now, when you are doing the inverse function, you have certain steps that you take. Alright? So, let's look at step 1. Alright, these are standard steps. You change f of x to y. Alright? So let's change f of x to y. So we have y equals 2 minus 5x. Now remember, we're inverting the function. We're finding the inverse function. So let us switch x and y. Alright, so step 2, we switch x and y. You switch places. So y becomes x, x becomes y. So you have x is equal to 2 minus 5y. Alright? Then we have step 3. What we do in step 3, we make y the subject of the equation. So we're going to transpose. This is usually the hardest part. So here, we're going to transpose for y. So we have x equals 2 minus 5y. We want to make y the subject. So we want y equal, y alone equal, and then everything else on the other side. So we need to get rid of the 2 and the negative 5. How do we get rid of this 2 here? What we can do is subtract 2 from both sides. So you minus 2 from the left and minus 2 from the right. Remember your transposition, you know. So we have x minus 2 equals, 2 minus 2 is 0, so this is gone. Equal to negative 5y. Then, the next thing we do is divide by negative 5. Let's rewrite x minus 2 equal negative 5y again. Then we do our division. Divide by negative 5 on the right, divide by negative 5 on the left. Remember, anything you do on one side, you must do on the other side. So, we divide now. Negative 5 divided into negative 5. So, what we have is that x minus 2 over negative 5 equals y. You might feel more comfortable switching the left and the right. So you have y equals x minus 2 over negative 5. You know that this could be also be written as 2 minus x over positive 5, right? Now, step 4 now. Ready for step 4. Remember what you do in step 4. You're going to change y to f inverse of x, right? So the idea is to switch x and y, make y the subject, and then change y to f inverse of x. So what do you get? F inverse of x equals x minus 2 over negative 5. If you multiply both top and bottom by negative 1, it's going to be 2 minus x over positive 5. It looks a little less stressful when you have 2 minus x over positive 5 instead of something at the top over a negative 5. It's 2 minus x over 5. Alright. Let's write it beside it. My, why is this thing doing this? 2 minus x over 5. And you can test it. Let us test it to see if it really works. So we have f inverse of x equal to 2 minus x over 5. Now, f of x is 2 minus 5x. Right? If you say f of a number, any number, equal 2 minus 5x, and you get an answer, right? Put the answer into the inverse and you should get back a number. So example, suppose you use, say, 3. F of 3 is equal to 2 minus 5 by 3. It is 2 minus 5 3 is 15, which is what? Negative 13, right? So f of 3 gives you negative 13. F of 3 gives you this answer. Suppose you put the answer into the inverse. Will you get back that number? Let us see. So, what we have for the inverse, f inverse of x is equal to 2 minus x over 5. Negative 13 we want. So we find f inverse of negative 13. We put negative 13 into it. So this x becomes negative 13. 2 minus negative 13 is going to be 2 plus 13. Alright, remember that? So this becomes 2 plus 13, which is 15 over 5. What is 15 over 5? 3. It does work. So we do have the correct inverse. We put a number into the original function, we get an answer. We put the answer into the inverse and we get back the original number that we had put into the function, right? So remember what we have here for the inverse. We have 2 minus 5x as a function and 2 minus x over 5 as the inverse, right? You put 3 in here, and when you work it out, you get negative 13, right? Then you put the negative 13 in here. When you work it out, what you get is 3. So you put something into the function, you get an answer. You put the answer into the inverse, you get back the number. Put the number into the function, you get the answer. Answer into the inverse, you get back a number. Remember, number into the function, you get the answer. Put the answer into the inverse, you get back a number. So that's how it works. Alright? Alright, so the answer, f inverse of x is 2 minus x over 5.